what is the position of the India Alliance on 370. I don't think there's any mystery there, Smriti Irani, because they want it revoked. I would begin by asking you, rather, that what was the need to have elections in Jammu and Kashmir? Why give these parties an opportunity? What is the need for that? That is my first question to you.
To say that...
Yes.
To say that Indians should be denied a right to a democratic way of life, Arnab, I don't think you believe in it, and neither do I. Democracy is the birthright of every Indian. To vote for their government is the birthright of every Indian, and that has been constitutionally provided for. I think the questions that need to be asked is a reflection of what I did today post the, I think, outpouring of rage by the Home Minister of India, Amit Shah. And the questions are very pertinent, and I think these questions need to be answered. Because any Indian who reads what the National Conference stands for will be absolutely appalled that the National Conference talks about autonomy for Jammu and Kashmir. The fact that the National Conference speaks about the political decapitation of our country and the Congress party supports it, I think that is the clarification and the answers that one seeks from the Congress party.
No, but
so it's not only about the fact that the National Conference has been vehement about wanting the restoration of Article 370. But what happens when the Article 370 was in place? Children were married off. There was absolutely no law that helped protect children from child marriages. There was no law that helped protect the rights of the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes. So if the National Conference wants to restore 370, what happens to the rights of Dalits, Gujars, Bakarwals, the Pahadi communities? Does the Congress party support this stand of the National Conference? Because when you come together in an alliance, that is not an alliance that affects only one geography of our country. That is an alliance that sends a larger message to the Indian populace. So in my press conference today, when I sought certain answers, they were not only for the people of Jammu and Kashmir, they were also for the citizens of our entire country.
Well, I can see that you are cornering the Congress party on that, but I'd come to you again. Why haven't you legitimized Farooq Abdullah? This entire Gupkar alliance, they were on the back foot. They were in custody. They were under home arrest. They were facing cases, and now they're out in the open. A couple of years back, you invited these same leaders who take a pro-Pakistan, anti-India line for discussions at the Prime Minister's residence on the way forward in Jammu and Kashmir. Did you really, Smriti Irani, expect these parties to ever change their line, to ever not advocate for a separate flag? Or were you being unrealistic?
No, I think it's realistic when you invite every political discourse to come to a table, so that those who ignite passions against the Indian Constitution and the Indian democracy do not find an excuse to say that all parties were not heard. It would have been extremely irresponsible that even if I don't like the antagonist and anti-India stand that a particular politician has in some part of our country, I will never deny that politician a right to speak, because the very foundation of our democracy is the freedom to express yourself. And even if I do not like that expression, it is incumbent upon me to ensure that I protect their right to speak. But this is not only restricted to speech. This is an entire exercise to gain political office,
but these people
so
are
that
dangerous.
you can administer a particular part of your country.
See,
so when somebody wants to come together, when you want to come together between political organizations and say we want to administer a particular state, what do you stand for? If you say I want to administer a particular union territory, or I want to administrate a particular specific segment in a particular region, what do you as an individual, as an organization stand for? It is our right to seek that clarification, which is what happened today.
You have a right to
Amit Shah's tweets.
You have a right to. I agree with the questions that the Honorable Home Minister has put, but that is not the point. The point is, you are letting loose.
I also think you are letting loose. You cannot deny.
You are letting loose into the political fabric very dangerous forces. And if tomorrow, God forbid, the National Conference gets
Well, they're dangerous
comes into
forces
power.
elected to parliament
Yeah, but-
under the India Alliance flag.
but if Farooq Abdullah becomes a chief minister once again, and along with the Congress says
That won't happen.
that people close to terrorist stone pelters should be brought into government jobs. We need to encourage people of all types. We need to have a more forgiving attitude towards stone pelting, towards support and to proxy terrorism. We want to open the door to Pakistan. We want to have a different level of a LOC trade with Pakistan in the name of trade, make changes. I'm not even talking about the renaming of Shankaracharya Hill. I am talking about things like trying to force trade, opening the border, allowing family members and people close to terrorists to join the government services, to change and undo every gain that we have had over the last 5 years. That is going to be horrendous, horrendous. So, that's my concern.
There is a presumption, Arnab, there's a presumption in your outrage. There's a presumption in your outrage. There is, in fact, I should not even say it's an outrage. There's a presumption in your very, very honest rage about why let such elements loose. But the true test of democracy is that everybody needs to clarify their political positions to citizens at large, and it is then the right of the citizen to choose a government of their choice to bring into office. Now, that being said, today's press conference of mine, or for that matter, the Home Minister's position, is very clear that when the Congress party, which claims to be a national party, with a political ecosystem that it aspires to, I think in some way supplement or complement, let them come out and be specific about what they stand for or they do not stand for in their alliance with regards to the National Conference. Do they stand for the restoration of Article 370, thereby denying Dalits, Gujars, Bakarwals and the Pahadi community their rights under the Constitution? Do they stand for child marriage? Do they stand for a geography of the country where the Dowry Act will not be applicable? Do they stand for a geography where the POXO Act will not be applicable? Do they now stand for that a particular segment of our society will have a different flag from that of the Indian flag that we all literally worship and men and women have sacrificed their lives for? And now that, Arnab, I reflect on your age, you speak about not only stone pelting, not only those who are related to terrorists, who under the watch of the India Alliance so-called partnerships were finding place in government jobs. Who were they pelting stones at? They were pelting stones at the Indian security forces. So will the Congress party now stand with the terror forces and not the security forces of India? These questions need to be answered. These conversations are essential.
Okay, Smriti Irani, what alternative did the BJP provide? Why did you fail to build a political base? Today, these questions you're asking are relevant, but the fact is you're using these questions. Why don't you have a presence in Kashmir? Why have you failed to do that? You tried to have an alliance or understanding with Ghulam Nabi Azad, but on your own.
Prime Minister gives a clarion call. Firstly, I think when the Prime Minister gives a clarion call for Tiranga and you see the national flag being unfurled by many citizens celebrating Independence Day, when you see people congregate at Lal Chowk celebrating Independence Day, those same people cannot most definitely stand for a separate Vidhan, for a separate Nishan, for a separate Samvidhan. So do not equate the people of Kashmir to the India Alliance. They are not the India Alliance.
Okay. Well, Smriti Irani, she followed up.
There have been enough reports done even by your channel. There have been enough reports done by even your channel where citizens of Jammu Kashmir have openly said that they were fed up of being bled by a few families, a few individuals who ensured that the treasury was looted and the people were denied their lives.
I think
my concern is that your channel
my concern is
where
about
people came out and said that they are Kashmiris who said, and there are people from Jammu who said that the entire politics of the National Conference was to create a divide between the valley and Jammu. So that is why the question posed today is legitimate. Does the Congress stand for a division
Well, I don't.
between Jammu and the valley?
Anyway, I find this meeting of dynasts that has been happening quite worrisome. But leave alone for that. I'm just concerned that people who
Given
are
the
not
alliance,
working in.
that's a given, Arnab.
Well, I know it is, but it's very worrisome. I worry
The
about.
congregation of dynasts under the alliance, the congregation of corrupt under the alliance, that is a given. But I think that if the Congress party feels that its position with regards to Article 370 will be different in the valley and different in the rest of our country, they are grossly mistaken.
Smriti Irani, thank you so much. Smriti Irani is taking the points made by Amit Shah forward in a press conference and on the show this evening. Smriti Irani, thank you.